Alright, hello everyone. So Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is an extremely complicated game. I mean, there are tons of mechanics over here. There are over 175 different characters and so many different mechanics that it's tough to sometimes keep a track of everything. And with the addition of every new character, there's a new mechanic or a new uh, element that we have to consider. And despite all the different variety of kits that we have, speed still rules in the game. And whichever team gets to start first, or whichever character gets to start first, has a definite advantage in the battle, either on defense or on offense, both cases. So what I wanted to do is make a quick video to explain, at least to my understanding, what some of the way some of these speed and turn meter gain increases really affect the turn order of a battle, and hopefully present it to you in a graphical format so it'll be useful to you. So let's go ahead and take a look at the graphic, and then we can talk a little bit about the different ways in which speed, turn meter, and bonus turns get applied in order to determine when which team or which character goes first. Okay, so there are four main categories that I've kept over here. It's basically a flat speed increase, a percentage speed increase, turn meter gain, and bonus turn. And we'll talk about each of these bit by bit. Now, initially, when in the first year of the game, whenever there was a speed increase mentioned in the lead, it was pretty simple. It was a flat speed increase, and characters like Tarkin gives 28 speed. Crew gives plus 30. We had the Night Sisters leads who had plus 30 speed as well. Qui-Gon Jinn, who was a popular lead back then, plus 30. Akbar with plus 25. Veers gives plus 20, and lately Shak Ti gives quite a lot, plus 35 flat speed on her lead. Jedi Knight Revan came and made it a variable flat speed increase with plus 5 speed for each Jedi or Old Republic. So you could have anywhere from plus 20 speed all the way to plus 40, depending on your the variety of characters that you have in your team. And then you have the Boba lead, which is plus 15 speed per thermal on the opponent. So that's a variable flat speed increase that you have given by Boba's leadership. Unfortunately, that leadership is not very popular, so you don't really see that in action as much. So that's pretty simple to understand, because what you do is you just take the flat base speed of the character and you add plus 25, plus 30, whatever the lead says, and then you can get the actual speed of the resulting character. Similarly, you have individuals who, regardless of the leadership, they add their own speed by themselves. So C-3PO, you have to add plus 20 speed to his base speed, because that's part of his unique. On Ahsoka Tano, you have to add plus 25 speed if she doesn't have crit immunity, and plus 50 speed if she has crit immunity. And she always starts the battle with crit immunity. So you basically just add plus 50 speed to her base speed. And then in terms of Asajj Ventress, she gets a plus 30 speed from her own leadership or Talzin's leadership if you're running Night Sisters under that. And then she gets plus 15 speed for each character without a buff. So that translates to 5 into 15 is 75 plus 30. So you effectively have to add 105 speed to Asajj's base speed in order to find out exactly what speed she's starting off with. Obviously, if there's a pre-taunter in the other team, that would count as a buff, and her speed gets reduced by 15 for each character who has a buff on the enemy team. So you have to reduce that 105 by the amount of characters who have buffs on the enemy team. And similarly, another character with a variable speed is Vader, and he gets plus 8 speed for each Sith or Empire ally, and also each Rebel or Jedi opponent. So if you have all Sith Empire, all Sith allies or Sith or Empire allies in your team, and you've got EP as well as Vader in that team, then the speed would be approximately plus 56. And then you have to add plus 8 for every enemy character who's a Jedi or a Rebel. So that's a variable speed that you have for Vader as well. In addition, you have got some characters, and the box that I've kept over here, which the blue box, it basically signifies that these characters have that speed to start the battle. And there are a couple of other characters who have a flat speed increase as the battle progresses. So Han, for example, young Han, every time he uses his special, a plus 50 speed gets added to his base speed, and that's a max of up to 200. So you can use that 4 times. And similarly, Kylo Ren, the original version, has a plus 10 speed added for each debuff that he has. So that also gets applied in the middle of battle. But in terms of starting off, you basically, if you want to take a look at flat speed increases, you have to take a look at all these leadership who apply a flat leadership speed increase, plus these 4 characters who have a naturally high starting speed based on their own uniques. So that's pretty simple to understand, a flat speed increase. Where it gets a little more complicated is when you talk about percentage speed increase and turn meter gain. So what's the difference between that? Now, percentage speed increase is, to my knowledge, if you take a look at the lead characters, there's only 2 characters who apply a percentage speed increase, and they're basically Rex and Newt Gunray. Now, Rex, his is not a lead, it's a unique, but his unique states that there's a 4% speed bump for every 501st ally. And similarly for Newt, the unique state, the leadership states that there's 15% speed bump for separatists for every enemy with extortion. And the way that you calculate the speed, the effective speed of your team when there's a percentage speed increase is you simply multiply it by 1 plus the percentage speed increase. So this is relatively easy as well. I can take the example of Rex. So if there are 3 501st allies, say there are Rex, Echo, and 5s in the team, and Rex's base speed is 250, then what you do is you multiply 250 times 1.12 and you get 280. So his effective speed becomes 280 after applying Rex's unique speed bump bonus. If Shakti is in the lead and she gives the plus 35 speed bump, then what you need to do is you have to do the calculation like 250 multiplied by 1.12, 280 plus 35, which gives you 305. So Shakti's lead bonus is applied after Rex's unique is applied on the base speed of all characters, all the 501st characters. So that's basically a brief description of how percentage speed increase is applied. Now these are obviously, the Newt is the only character who applies it on the lead. Rex is the one who applies it to other 501st members, but we do have some other characters who apply percentage speed increase on themselves. Paplu and Droideka apply it at the beginning of battle. Paplu, the speed bump is 25%. If he's not taunting and at the beginning of battle, he's definitely not taunting. So it's pretty simple. If you have 200 speed Paplu, apply 25% on top of that, his speed effectively becomes 250. So that's how you know your Paplu is effectively starting at 250 speed. Similarly, you've got suppose you've got a 100 speed Droideka. Just add his unique states that if he doesn't have damage immunity, he starts with a plus 50% speed bump. So his effective speed becomes 100 plus 50% of 100, which is 150. So his speed is effectively 150 at the beginning of battle. And Zombie, it doesn't apply at the beginning of battle, it applies in the middle of battle. She gets a 50% speed stack, speed per stack of a unique which is applied. So in this case, if Zombie is 200 speed, the first time that a stack is applied, it becomes 300 speed, and the second time that is applied at 100%, it becomes 400 speed. So it's pretty simple to calculate again. 200 becomes 300 becomes 400. So that's basically how you apply percentage speed increase, either on a lead or a unique like these. You basically just multiply the base speed multiplied by 1 plus the percentage increase of the speed for that character. Now, when we talk about turn meter gain, it's slightly different. What you have to do for turn meter gain, and turn meter gain is essentially, the wording is slightly different. And let me actually show you the difference in a couple of these characters between Rex and say Basti. All right, so here let's take a look at Rex's unique, Captain of the 501st. So here you can see in the wording, all 501st allies have plus 4% speed applied. So in this case, the wording of the skill is explicitly calling out speed. But then if you look at Maul or Basti's lead, that talks about turn meter gain. So at the start of battle, all Jedi allies gain 15% turn meter gain. So that there's a slight difference between speed and turn meter gain, and it's an important distinction to have if you want to understand exactly what speeds these characters will be starting off with. So going back to the chart, so you see that Basti lead and Maul lead has a percentage turn meter gain. So in Basti's case, there's a 15% turn meter bump, and the way that you calculate a percentage turn meter, the speed after a percentage turn meter gain, is you divide it by 1 minus that percentage speed. So let's take an example of Watt. Now Watt, his unique states that if it's not Zeta, it states that at the beginning of battle, he gains about 30% turn meter at the start of battle. And the way you calculate his speed is you take his base speed, which in this example it's 250, and you divide it by 1 minus 30%, or you divide it by 0.7, and you get a base speed, you get a resulting speed of 357. Similarly, under Basti lead, if a Jedi has got effectively 200 speed, you take 200 and you divide it by 0.85, which is the 1 minus the 15%, and you'll get your resulting speed for that particular Jedi. That's an important distinction between a percentage speed increase, which is a straight multiplication, and a percentage turn meter gain, which you have to divide the speed by 1 minus the percentage turn meter gain. If you look at unique characters, you've got the only two characters who on their own unique start off with a percentage turn meter gain is Watt, where he gains 30% turn meter at the beginning of battle, and if he doesn't have a unique Zeta, and BB-8, where he gets 8% turn meter for every droid ally, and he gives that turn meter gain to each and every other droid ally as well. Sometime back, I'd made a small chart and shared it on the gain for BB-8 and the droids. Let me just share that with you. So in one of my Grand Arena videos, I'd shared this when I was talking about the Grievous nuke team. This is the effective speed of the droids depending on the number of droids present in the team, with BB-8 also in the team. So the way to interpret this chart is if your droid speed is about 200, and there are 4 droids in the team, then with BB-8, then in that case the effective speed of that droid is going to be 294, which is 200 divided by 0.68. And 0.68 is nothing but, if there are 4 droids, you multiply 4 by 8%, which is 32%. 1 minus 32% is 0.68. So you divide 200 divided by 0.68, and that's how you get 294. And that's the effective speed of the droid in that team. Which is why whenever you hear people talking about the Grievous nuke team, they recommend that your droids be at least 210 speed. That's because at 210 speed, with 5 droids in the team, the effective speed of every single droid in the team is going to be 350, which is just about enough to outspeed almost all Darth Revan teams. If you really want to be safe, and because sometimes you might run into some Darth Revan teams which are 355 or 360, then it's safer to go with a speed like 215 on your slowest droid. That way you can be sure that you're going to outspeed all of the enemy droids. All right, so to my knowledge, there are only those 2 characters, BB-8 and Watt, who gain a percentage turn meter at the beginning of battle on their uniques. In terms of lead, the only 2 that I'm aware of is Bastila and Maul, both of whom give Jedi and Sith respectively a percentage turn meter gain at the beginning of battle. But almost all other leaderships, if they are speed based, they are either a flat increase, or in the case of Newt, a percentage increase. But that's what it is for these characters. And then you have a few other characters who gain 100% turn meter in the middle of battle. So the only ones at the beginning of battle is BB-8 and Watt. In the middle of battle, there are many ways that characters have of gaining 100% turn meter, which effectively means that they're going to take a turn. And you're obviously aware of all of these cases. There's B2 battle droid who, if enemy is evaded or any of the characters are hit, any of the allies are hit, he gains 100% turn meter. Hermit Yoda, if you have a unique on his Zeta, anytime an ally with Master's Training dies, he gets 100% turn meter. Scion, anytime that he gets held by hatred, he gets 100% turn meter, or when he dies and comes back, he gets 100% turn meter. Newt, also when he dies and he comes back in stealth and gets 100% turn meter. Maul, when he on his basic, if he's able to finish a character, he gets 100% turn meter again. Death Trooper, if he has a Zeta, then anytime Krennic is critically hit, he gets a turn meter, 100% turn meter, which means he ends up taking a turn. And the last two characters over here, First Order Officer and Jin, they end up giving someone else, an ally, 100% turn meter by their specials. So that's just a list of characters who essentially can get 100% turn meter in the middle of battle. We also have the two vets, Veteran Han and Veteran Chewie, where if one dies, the other gets 100% turn meter. I didn't mention them over here just because they're not used as often. But that's basically what turn meter gain means. Now, this getting 100% turn meter is slightly different from getting a bonus turn, which is and there's a slight difference over there. The first thing is 100% turn meter gain can be prevented by days, but a bonus turn cannot be prevented by days or any means or whatsoever. It is inevitable. So if for example days is applied on B2 battle droid, then in that case he's not going to get 100% turn meter every time an enemy is evaded or an ally is attacked. So days supersedes the 100% turn meter gain, but bonus turn, if the character is set to take a bonus turn, that can't be prevented by any means whatsoever, even if the character is dazed. So, and examples of bonus turn are, Han, where he takes a bonus turn at the beginning of battle, and then you've got Watt, if he's Zeta'd, he takes a bonus turn at the beginning of battle as well. And these two, amongst all the different skills that you have, bonus turn, if a character starts a turn with starts a match with a bonus turn, that character is going to get priority. So in all the matches that you see, Han, in all cases, regardless of the speed of the enemy, your Han is going to go first and start the battle. And if there is also a Zeta Watt in there, either in the enemy team or the opponent team or the allied team, the Watt is going to go next, because that's the next bonus turn which is going to kick in. In all cases, Han is going to go before Watt, so that's an interesting interaction that you have to keep in mind. But in all cases, these two characters are the one. If they are present in the battle, they are the ones who are going to go first, because bonus turn supersedes all speed-based stats. And then there are other characters, these 5 characters, who take bonus turns in the middle of battle. So you have Jedi Knight Anakin, who takes a bonus turn whenever allies fall below 50% health or they die. And even if he's dazed, this bonus turn can't be prevented, which is the great thing about it. Similarly, you've got Grievous, where if any droid ally or separatist ally dies, your Grievous is going to end up taking a bonus turn and dispelling all debuffs on himself, which is what makes these two characters really, really dangerous and really excellent in a team for nuking Darth Revan and Malak teams, for example. There is one exception to this. If they are feared, then they will get a bonus turn, but they end up not taking the bonus turn, because the fear will cancel out the turn that they're scheduled to take. So if, for example, Grievous is feared and you kill a separatist or a droid in his team, he will come out of fear, but he'll end up not taking a turn. So that's the only exception that you have to this rule. Otherwise, nothing else can prevent a bonus turn. Similarly, you've got Malak, who takes a bonus turn every time he comes below the thresholds for his health, or a Sith Empire dies. And he can do his cooldown is reduced, and he can do the Force Train, the Health Train based on that. You've got Grandmaster Yoda, who can take a bonus turn every time he uses his special, every time that there's a Jedi in the team. And then you've got Boba, who uses a bonus turn every time that his contract is fulfilled. So even if So yeah, that's basically on the fulfillment of the contract. He basically gets a bonus turn. So that's basically all. Those are all the characters that I can think of in the game who have the ability to take a bonus turn. Let me know if I might have missed anyone out. Either characters taking a bonus turn or getting 100% turn meter. Now, this should give you a good understanding of how to calculate speeds from your team when you've got either a flat speed increase or a percentage speed increase or a percentage turn meter gain, or in the case of Han and Watt, a bonus turn. You know exactly, looking at your allies and your enemy, who is to go where, and you should be able to calculate exactly what the turn order should be for the first few turns of the battle. Now, having said that, there are a few exceptions that you should be aware of. The first one is Padme. So if Padme is in your team, your allies will not be able to gain any turn meter gain. So if, for example, you decide to run Rex in your Padme team, so Rex and say you run Ahsoka as well. So technically speaking, you are supposed to get a speed bump because of Rex and Ahsoka. So I'm not sure about. I think the speed bump will still happen for Rex and Ahsoka because Padme's lead only prevents turn meter gain but not speed increases. So for example, Ahsoka, she will get plus 50 speed from her unique as well under Padme lead, because even though it does not allow turn meter gain, it does allow a flat speed increase. Similarly, if you have Rex and Ahsoka in that team, you have two 501st, so both Rex and Ahsoka will get a plus 8% bump up on their speed. So if Ahsoka is 200 speed, she's going to end up being 200 multiplied by 1.16, which is 232 speed, plus 50 speed on her unique, 282 speed. So that's basically how you calculate a speed bump under a Padme lead. But any turn meter gain, any turn meter based gains will not take place under Padme lead. So for example, if you decide to take in Watt, for example, in the team, he's not going to get the 30% turn meter gain if he's not Zeta'd. If you take Rex and you decide to use his tenacity up ability, which gives everyone plus 30 to 70% turn meter up, that is not going to take place under a Padme lead. If you take in Plo, for example, he has a special which gives turn meter up to his ability to his allies as well. That is also not going to happen under a Padme lead. So speed increases are fine, either flat speed increase or percentage speed increase, but turn meter gain, which is this the third category over here, that is not going to take place in a Padme team. Similarly for Yoda, if you decide to take in Grandmaster Yoda under a Padme team, his second special, in which he hits and gets a bonus turn, that is still allowed under a Padme team, but the other special, when he spreads his buffs around and gains turn meter, that in that special ability he will not be able to gain turn meter in a Padme team, just because it's based on because Padme teams don't allow turn meter gains. So that's the first exception. And then you also have a second exception, which is a Jedi Knight Revan team, where his if he's in the leader slot, his lead ability prevents other allies from gaining turn meter from enemy leader abilities. So, and there are only two enemy leader abilities which basically have percentage turn meter gain, which is going to be Bastilla and Maul. So if you're facing a Jedi Knight Revan team and you decide to take in Bastilla or Maul, your team is not going to get the percentage turn meter gain bump, because Jedi Knight Revan completely cancels that out. But important to note that this is only on the leadership based percentage turn meter gain, not on unique based things. So if you face Watt or BB-8 in the other team, for example, opposite of Jedi Knight Revan, they will still get the percentage turn meter gain based on their uniques, which is not based on their leadership, on their leader's unique. So that is an important distinction. So Jedi Knight Revan is going to prevent turn meter gain from Basti and Maul, but it's going to allow turn meter gain from uniques of the characters. And the other exception is Jolee. So Jolie's special prevents any turn meter gain or loss for himself. That can't be reduced. That can't be manipulated at all. So you won't be able to give him any turn meter whatever team he's on, and you won't be able to The only way that you can do it is basically if you pass turn meter on from Jedi Knight Revan to Jolie using Jedi Knight's special. But otherwise, he won't be able to gain turn meter through any of the abilities which manipulate turn meter, and you won't be able to make him lose any turn meter from say Jedi Training Ray's special ability, which reduces turn meter and can't be resisted. You can't do that to Jolie. Similarly for Vader as well, if he has his unique, you can't reduce his turn meter as well. So those are some exceptions that you have to keep in mind when you're thinking about turn meter gain and loss. All right, so that's just a brief overview of some of the mechanics. Hope you guys found this video useful. It took me a while to figure out a lot of these distinctions. And some of these, especially the calculations related to speed and turn meter gain, that's something I very recently learned about. So if you're aware of these calculations, it becomes easier for you to apply them in your own battles, especially in grand arenas or even in arena itself. As clone teams and Padme teams are becoming more and more important in these teams, and in the near future, WAT and BB-8 as well. It's important for us to understand exactly how speeds are calculated to start the match. So I felt this was a useful video to put out there for everyone. All right, so that's it for this video. I don't think I have any other topics to cover in the near future, but if I do, I'll put another video out. Otherwise, I will catch you guys during the start of the next Season 2 Grand Arena Championships. I will see you then. Talk to you guys later.